All right, on this episode of Bowks Talking Bouts, we have a big card coming up going down on October the 23rd. XMMA 3 Vice City taking place, a bantamweight clash going down between Edir Terry and Tyler Wilson. And welcoming Edir onto the show to talk a little bit about what's going on with this upcoming bout. How's the training going there, man? Seems like you just finished getting in some good work there.
Oh yeah, I just finished a really hard training. Technically today was my last training session, so I was making sure that everything that I did today was supposed to be top to the game. So, I don't know if you guys know, but they just changed my opponent probably like a week ago. So my last opponent supposed to be fighting, but I don't know, never heard nothing about him. So they just gave me this new guy. At the end of the day, I'm here just to fight, and I honestly don't care about what the deal. I just want to fight.
Yeah, no, that's fair, man. And that was something I'd kind of noticed too. Louis Sanodakis, I believe, was supposed to be in there with you. And I mean, fair enough. You kind of clarified it for me. I was going to ask if the opponent switch did anything to alter the preparations at all, but you're kind of just preparing for whatever body type, style type comes your way, eh?
That's right. I mean, the only difference that changed from this, it was my opponent that won before, it was lefty, and I was training the entire time for a lefty guy. So now I just find out that the new guy is righty. So now kind of like I had to just switch my style and my timing, but that was okay. I've been doing the same thing, so the only thing that I just had to figure out is just the footwork.
Yeah, and I mean, you're working at a great space from what I could tell. It seems like MMA Masters has been the base of operations for a little bit, just getting in good work with John Lopez and John Calderon, people like that, it seems.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We've been having a lot of guys coming out from the UFC, PFL, Bellator, and one is champion. They're coming down like most of the time, like for a month, 2 months, 3 months, to do camps with us. So that's been good, I'm having the chance to train with a lot of good guys and good names. Just like my teammate, we've been training together for over 3 months already, non-stopping for his fight coming up, which is Nate, and he's fighting tomorrow in the UFC. So, yeah.
Nate Landwehr you're talking about?
Yeah, the 145, the train.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, a great individual to get in that work with, but I'm kind of curious because it seemed like, at least in the past, you were training at Freestyle Fighting Academy Miami. Are you still finding yourself there, or just solely with MMA Masters nowadays?
No, I've been with MMA Masters already about, I would say, about a year and a half already.
Yeah, an amazing place to get in work at, and as much as you're growing your own skills, it seems like you very much take pride in teaching people martial arts, like Sensei Edir and stuff like that. Like, how important is that to, I guess, impart your martial arts knowledge to people who are looking to, get a base kind of level in martial arts understanding?
I mean, actually, I love it. I love to teach. I've been doing it already for about 17, 18 years. So it's something that since I started martial arts, it's just something just came out natural to me. I like to help other people, and through the martial arts influence their lifestyle, whatever they want to come and they want to become a fighter, they just want to do it for a hobby, or they just want to do it for self-defense, whatever the deal is, it makes me happy seeing people, changing their life for the best.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing for sure, man. It seems like it was a very important thing in your life, too. Like, you were just, I guess picked on in some of the younger years based on a bio that I'd kind of found doing my research, and just, shored up the skills, the self-defense, as it were. So how important is the martial arts on just like a lifestyle kind of level, too, like even beyond the competitions and whatnot?
I mean, to be honest with you, I've seen it all, honestly. And the one thing that I seen the most is basically with the people that comes to me, like I seen people that are literally that close to kill themselves. I seen people coming with problems with alcohol, people with drug addicts, people that are being very in a bad relationship. There's like so many different characters that come to the gym in a different way, and the way how martial arts and developing their lifestyle. It just is amazing how you can change somebody else's life. Just simply not. A lot of people think what we do is just punch and kick somebody, but it's more than that. It's more deeper than that. Helping people out, just to be more confident in the mindset, be able to live a lifestyle under the martial art rules. It's something that you just don't do on the gym. It's that every day you wake up, you want to be like a martial artist. You want to go to work like a martial artist. Whatever you do, you always want to have, an ethic of everything that you do. So I said martial art is very, very important, for so many different reasons.
Yeah, it seems like you really put your all into the compounded learning and just looking at all of the facets of it there, but it seems like in the fighting you kind of do that as well. Like, I like how you do the graphic designer kind of work. You have like your own clothing company. Like, it seems like you're looking to check off all of the different boxes there, like even beyond what happens in the cage, which ultimately is the most important, obviously. But I think it's cool that you have those outside endeavors that are just like, I guess, like filling out the proverbial package a little bit more there, like just having that kind of skill set to increase your, I guess, visibility as a fighter.
Yeah. The one thing that I learned many years ago, about a decade ago, I remember I learned this from one of my teammates. Long time ago, I remember he told me this. He told me, "Hey, Edir, the day that you decide to become a professional fighter, it's one thing I want you to understand and keep this in your mind for the rest of your life until the day you retire. Your brand, and you got to be able to learn how to sell yourself in so many different levels. Because at the end of the day, if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you. Yes, you're going to have managers, you're going to have promoters and this and that, but at the end of the day, you are the brand. So you have to put your part, that way you can do all this stuff and be able to make it to the top. Because at the end of the day, it's a lot of people are fighters, and some fighters are good, some fighters are mediocre, some fighters are whatever. What makes it different, a lot of them is has to do a lot with the character and what they do with their lifestyle and how they do it. So that's one thing, that I like to do. And on the side, when I'm not focusing on my fight. I try to do other things. It's funny that you bring all of that up because it reminds me, what's this guy's name? Kamaru Usman. He was commentating one of my last fights, and he brought it up, one commenting during the fight. He calls me the jack of all trades. And for the same reason, because he knew that he found out, before the fight, he was asking me, "Oh, what do you do for a living besides, fighting?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm an entrepreneur. I got my own business. Put money in the stock, and I'm trying to build my brand. I also teach, and I do managing, and I do promoting and matchmaker. So I do a little bit of everything. I try to stay as busy as much as possible if I'm not fighting."
That's cool that Kamaru Usman was kind of talking to you about all of that there. That's a cool sort of instance. I imagine that was during your last Titan FC fight there, April 2019, if I'm correct.
Yeah, I believe it was, I don't remember what it was because I fought for them a few times. There was one of the guys that he's in the UFC now. Well, not anymore. And I broke his leg in the fight, in the comeback fight, and and that's when Kamaru Usman was commentating in that fight.
Yeah, just an amazing individual to get insights from. So that's cool that you were kind of talking about that there. But the Titan FC fight that I kind of mentioned there, like there was a bit of a gap, to say the least, between that fight and the recent one you had. Obviously, a lot of factors beyond your control. I mean, a global pandemic getting in the way of, a couple people's plans, to say the very least. But, like, what did it feel like getting back there and having, like, that return after being out for a bit over 2 years from competition?
Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, when it comes to a virus, that's one thing that, nobody was expecting. Being out for that long, I mean, I'm kind of like I'm used to it, and I already have experience because I went through it before. For personal reasons, so I couldn't remember. It was about 2 years or 3 years. I just couldn't fight. I was having so many issues during that time here in the United States. So it's kind of like it didn't bother me. The fact that it was the timing just bothered me, that I was just wasting the time. So the timing to me, like when they talk about the ring rust, is honestly, it wasn't in my head at any point. just the timing itself, that just wasting that time, it was like what got me mad, because I could have fought probably about 3 times, I remember, because shows, they got me shows, and we were setting it up, but then all of this happened, and then everything got canceled.
Yeah, so good you were able to, get back to it and have that kind of moment. I imagine that was fairly frustrating, but a bit earlier we were talking about the opponent switch there and stuff like that, your new opponent, Tyler Wilson. Like, are you a guy that generally does tape study on your opponents? Do you kind of focus on honing your own individual skills to have that, like, fluidity on the night itself there? Like, I guess I'm wondering if you've checked out some of Tyler Wilson's previous fights and say, like, BTC, BFL, and stuff like that, or mostly just getting out there and doing it?
I only saw one fight of him. I remember, what was it? It's funny because I was running. I don't remember when it was. I think it was last week. Last week it was a Friday. It was Friday, I think. I don't remember. I know it was a few days ago. One of my coaches, one of my master calls me at night, and I see I have a missed call, but I was running at the moment, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna call him back when I finish running. So I was running at the moment. So when I finished running, I was like, okay, I call him back, and then I said, what's up, master? He said, oh, I just want to let you know I got some good news and bad news. I'm like, oh, crap. Hit me with the bad news. He said, we just find out that your opponent got dropped. I was like, oh, why? And they never told us. I was like, oh, okay, so what's the deal? Well, good news is that we got another fighter, and we saw his fight, and we think that it's a good fight for you. I'm like, okay, master, at the end of the day, you know how it is. I don't care. I just want to fight. And then they sent me the information of him. And I saw the fight, and I saw it was LFA, I think. And I saw his fight, and I was like, okay, cool. That's the guy. The only thing I have to worry about is now he's a righty. So just switch it on my game style, that what I was doing for the lefty, and I just do it to righty. But basically, the skills still the same. I mean, the way that I train, I've been training for more than a decade. Especially with the new team, they're really good at it. Is we do everything. It's not like yes, we do have a game plan, obviously, for every fighter, but we always train everything. We train the striking, we train the wrestling, we train the grappling. So it's like, to me, it's like it really doesn't matter where the fight goes, because I feel comfortable anywhere. It's like my last fight, the guy thought that I was going to strike, and I was like, yeah, cool, I can strike without no problem. But if I see that I can take you down, and I can keep you down, and I can ground and pound you or submit you, I'm going to do it. Because I feel comfortable anywhere the fight feels comfortable for me. So honestly, like, in this fight, it's the same mentality. I'm always going out there, that I'm thinking I'm going to fight the best of the best. I think this guy is a black belt striker, he's a black belt in the wrestling, he's a black belt in grappling. Like, I know, like, he's legit in everything. I never underestimate any of my opponents.
Yeah, for sure, and I imagine you'd be a bit of a difficult guy to game plan for in a lot of regards, because I was seeing your first fight there ended in less than 20 seconds by KO, but then I'm seeing an interview you did, and you're like, yeah, I really favor the Khabib-style ground and pound kind of approach. It's like, damn, this guy's going to come at you in every position, it seems like.
Oh, yeah, it's funny. It's funny that you bring that up, because today I was like making a joke with my teams. Another one of my teammates also knows, his name is Danny Chavez, also another UFC fighter, 145er. And it's funny that you bring that up, because I told him like a little comment before the class started. I said, hey, today I'm a smash.
Yeah.
I'm a couple of you guys today. So that's like my last training session. So I was kind of like in my mindset, I must strike today. But when we joke around like that, it's like, okay, I'm going to take you down. I'm going to ground and pound you, and you won't be able to do nothing about it. And that's basically what I did today. So it's funny that you bring it up like that.
Yeah, funny how that kind of worked out there. But another thing I was curious to get some insights on, like, I was noticing you were initially from Venezuela, but been living in Miami for what seems like at least a little bit as of yet. And with this fight card being in Miami, I'm kind of wondering, is there a sense of like feeling like this is your home turf? Like, maybe, people are going to be coming out to watch this one in large amounts. Like, how do you feel about those considerations, if anything at all?
I mean, the place, I never care about it. I mean, I have fun in different places. And yes, I'm from Venezuela. because also they know I was born and raised in Venezuela, and also I'm half Peruvian. So most of my life I've been living here in Miami. So the good thing is actually I don't have to be moving around for this fight that much. So it's right there, right in the corner. All I have to do is get my stuff ready, and probably I'll be at the venue like in 20 minutes. So that's not bad at all. Having the crowd back, that's actually something exciting for me, because fighting with nobody that can see you, and on the only people that you can hear is basically your coaches. It's kind of like an interesting thing, but at the same time it's kind of like different when you don't have the crowd screaming at you, booing at you, or saying good stuff or bad stuff. It's a little bit different. So it's kind of like I'm actually excited for that too.
Yeah, it looks like an exciting card all around. A very stacked event. A lot of like name value kind of guys on there, and a lot of very intriguing fights. But I want to be mindful of your time and the busy schedule that I presume you have leading into this fight here, Edir. So to that point, is there maybe anything you'd like to sort of add as a parting thought as we're kind of wrapping up here, man?
No, I mean, thank you very much, and I make sure that you guys see the fight, and I promise, like every fight, like, I always gonna bring fire to the fight. There's one thing that a lot of people know me about it is, I'm a fun guy when it comes to fight, and I come to win no matter what. If it goes to the ground, it goes standing, whatever it is, I'm a fight. It's gonna be a good fight that night.
Yeah, it's a very intriguing bantamweight fight. And what I've seen from both yourself and Tyler Wilson, I think it'll be an amazing fight. People can check that out October the 23rd, XMMA 3, Vice City going down. And just great having Edir Terry on the program to provide some insights. Thanks so much, man. And yeah, just looking forward to the fight. You enjoy the rest of your day there, man.
All right, thank you very much. And you too.